David
This
has asked.
conference will now be recorded.
All right. So yeah, David had as ODSA Papi, I think a couple of weeks ago asked us to provide some updates for the ODSA meeting. So we prepare this for that and work with Java with this one. So I'm going to please share with the team here and get some inputs, feedback, or if any. And most of these things like we has been talked about in the other CDSM meeting where David, Java, and I and Tony we have been working with together with the product team with Michael and also Kosik. So let's give some the high level. So first of all is the working meetings. We have two meetings at bi-weekly. One is on the Friday, which is the integrations uh, between the OCP or the CDX and the JEP30 meeting. So from our side, right, we have the uh, David, Java, and me. And then from JEDEC side, we have Michael Cousin, Osamu, and a few others. But these are the active participants. And then on Thursday, we have like the CDXML meeting, which we have almost the same 10 people. This one is more focusing on talking about CDXML updates, including CDXML2, the future, and also like talk about the challenges also that we're facing with the integration with the CDXML as well. So that's kind of like the meetings that what we have. Um, Here are the logistic, like if I'm interested, I think on Thursday one we have noontime, right? Today we have one. Yeah, feel free to pin me, David or Java if you guys or Tony if you guys right to join on that one. We do have meeting notes that we share here. And yeah, and then the other one is on the Friday. That one is more hosted by the JDEC side. That is on bi-weekly at the 7 a.m. mainly for integration with the JDEC. Yeah, other things that probably you guys already aware of. We have the GitHub repo for the CDXML, and then this is just a link for the JEP30 for on the JDEC side for references.
So,
Yeah.
James, does it question? Does it make sense to broadcast to the whole world that these meetings are going on and that really everybody can join? I thought we want to keep these meetings kind of small and technical, right? When we're working with JDEC and make sure we get the work done.
Yeah, that's a good point though. I thought for the CDSM meeting, because it's from our side, right? Maybe it's okay. I think for their one is Friday one is mainly for integration that and that is from the JDEC side. That's probably invite only from the end. So that's why
Even CDX, James, I think it's open and whoever wants to join the CDMXL meetings, they're welcome. But I don't think we want the meetings open and publicized.
you mean
Is that what
this one?
you're saying, David?
Yeah, yeah, it's
So we
definitely
could
an
say
open meeting.
if you're interested, contact James or somebody, in joining the group.
Yes.
Okay, you mean I don't publish this link, right?
Right.
Yeah, don't.
Okay, oops, that makes sense. Sure.
And definitely not a Friday meeting.
Yeah,
yeah,
and that
Friday,
could be your call to action. If you're interested in joining the group,
Yeah.
contact.
Right, that makes sense. But meeting note, is that okay to share, or that one also kind of leave it as it there?
Just say, just remove the links and say these are the 2 times we're meeting. If you're interested, contact me or somebody. Right.
Okay, let me put 9 right as to that, and then
Well, we recorded all of this, so I don't know if it's too late to hide it.
all right.
Well, they'll have to type in the URL soon.
Yeah, I think it's probably kind of lengthy, not that easy. So all right, we'll continue from here. And Yeah, so the two updates on the integration, I think that's probably like the main interest from the
So James, are you sharing something?
Oh,
Selena,
I'm,
something?
you're
Yeah,
not see.
no, we see it.
Okay, well, I cannot see it. Okay, all right.
Maybe you restart it or rejoin or something.
No, okay, that's fine. Continue. Get it from somebody else.
Oh, okay. Sometimes you might have to find it though. It might hidden somewhere. It happened. It happened to me before. So yeah, I think that's probably one of the main thing the updates that we want to talk about here is like the what has been going on. So in the past few months, so we have been uh the goal is have been working on this with the JDA. The goal is just trying to get this uh, uh, um, updates and reference going. And then what we have done is that we do have the mapping between the CDXML and the JEP30 part model, which is spreadsheet. I can quickly show it later on a bit. And then there are two big sections I think that we have been focusing on, which I will also share a little bit. I think hold on, let me see the order. Okay, I will share a little bit in later on both end at the CDXML and also a JDA. They do have kind of similar backing out that way, so we can make easy, I think, to kind of back out that way. And especially this most also for the JDEX side, they have a different committee for each kind of section. So that's kind of way like meeting has been working. Now I think we have kind of different focus on electrical side and also package side. So on the package side, we have talk about the CTE, young models, the molding style, and then the the upper terminal. Terminal here is more reference to I/O and uh, the pins, which is commonly known as a terminal as the JDEC. We can't repeat too about that. And there's some terminology where we have been discussing as well, but that's probably could be a subtopic on that. And then there's a more material we talk about. And then on the electrical side, I think that the thing is a more of operations. And then there's some super interfaces, which is more and multiple interfaces that to support similar interfaces that are repeating. And then we have netlist names. And yeah, and in terms of the timeline, we the goal now here where we are is to trying to get these two uh, the package changes or integration and also electrical integration to be completed by actually May. I think May 19 or May. I think. Oops, never mind. Just kind of
James, do
happy.
you have are you differentiating between package and chiplets? Are you going to be talking about chiplets someplace else?
No, I think mainly because in the JEDEC side, they kind of model many of things, this thing like the terminal on the package side, right? So that's why it's more coming from their perspective. That's why I'm kind of mentioned that way. But from our end, it's all just one CDXML. Is
I
that
understand that, but CDXML initially only supported, package and other board level components, and we've extended that to include chiplets, so that I think we should be talking about that.
um
Tony, did you mean that JEP30 was board oriented and now we made a chiplet is included in there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're right, right. Yeah, we will talk about that. Yes, that's correct. I think we have to highlight that somewhere. I think that's the goal here. I think we're trying to talk about. Yes, I will kind of talk about quickly. Introduce that. I think. Yes, the part model, and then briefly talk about CDXML just for maybe some new Fox benefits. And then and then after we'll talk about we adding that CDXML for chiplet into the part model. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a
Yeah,
high level
I,
time. Go ahead.
yeah, I think we maybe need to start out with just a very high level summary of what JEP 30 supports, just for people who are not familiar with it.
Tony, is it possible for you to help with that? Maybe one slide.
I do have that. So here, but maybe I can move up that slide there as you mentioned. There's one that kind of slide you sharing. You
Yeah,
guys sharing.
I can help Joe. Maybe in the next call we have with Michael, we can
Okay,
cover that.
thanks.
Yeah.
Uh, can I ask a question on the JEP 30?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So is that the material library that Jawad is mentioning on the material size site that you on the previous slide?
Material. Sorry, what's the
Library, material library, like all
ma-
those young modules, CTE.
Yeah, those are materials
Y-
for board level.
I see, I see.
right,
And
right. Yeah, but it's also
we did discuss this and I think we agreed that we were not going to cover materials in JEP 30 for within the
I see,
package.
I see. So
And in
this is
fact,
not really,
next
yeah, I
week,
see.
and in
Hmm.
fact, next week I'm going to be talking
Hmm.
about that in terms of some of the 3DKs. We want to create an MDK, a material design
Ah,
kit, and
so this, mhm.
we felt that would probably be beyond the scope of JEP 30.
Okay, got
Jawad,
it, got
I
it.
know we discussed that. Is that still we still all aligned in that thought,
we
Jawad?
Sorry, Tony, I was distracted. Could you repeat that?
Yeah, we agreed that we were not going to include um, packaging materials within the scope of JEP 30.
Yes, I think what KK is probably asking, there is some interest from Applied Materials to participate in MDK.
Correct,
Yeah,
correct, correct. Yep.
yeah.
I think
And
that's
next week we're doing a kickoff for MDA as part of 3DK. So,
Yeah. So could you include apply me in because I am asked by my management to participate. Yeah. To
well, it's gonna be in the meeting,
okay, okay, okay. Great, great,
next
great.
Thursday's meeting,
Oh, okay,
and
okay, okay. I see.
we'll decide if we're gonna do a separate breakout meeting.
I see. I see. I see. You
That's
mean
something
next
we need to
Thursday,
discuss.
this meeting, right? The
Correct,
10 to 11.
correct.
Okay. Thanks,
I
Tony.
was going to do it today, but we decided this preempted it, which is good. It gives me a little more time to finish my slides.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
all right. Yeah. So continue. I think let me. I think I will change order a little bit later on. I think but will maybe will could be move around later on a little bit. This is this CDXML. I think I am just probably will skip to this one. I think you guys have seen this before. Just trying to quickly highlighting for potentially I think for other groups, right? Quick knowledge about and what's the intro and then what's the structure. And this one should actually, I think we can move for a bit. Here is like the intro on that part model, the JEP 30 within the JDEC that mentioned earlier. So on the high level, I think that's where JDEC started. That is it's a standard teacher format definition of a part. So pretty much a physical, electrical, or thermal environment. Um, and um, and assembly. And then and this is the didactic representations of a part. And then this part can be transformed into like product specific content. And on the high level on the left, we can see like the top model is a part model JEP 30. And then after the JEP 30, you have um, different section like which is assembly, reticle, package, thermal. And in this table, you can you can see here there's like the schema that can be downloaded from the JDEC website under part model, which I showed earlier. and they can download as a whole schema, or people can download as a subsection of it, right? Which is represented by chapter D-A101 or E101. Yeah, I think that's kind of like the idea. I think I started with. Similarly, I think the chapter the concept, right, with the CXML or Jeff, but more focusing on the part, but the CXML is more focusing on the chiplet, and that's why we kind of thought about combining them together to make sense and take the benefits of the of both sides there. Um, So the next going to talk about is the that's where the thing started. We started with the mapping between the two, since as we mentioned, obviously there were overlapping between the two. One is mainly talk about part in general. The one specific talking about the chiplets. So, but there are a lot of similarities. That's why we're trying to map them out and see what are the differences. Some of the right here that we identify, there are the delta between the two, and that's why we started and focusing on working on those delta and trying to put them together um, into the new this chapter part model structure. So one of them, I think, as mentioned, like since they already have a package share, they have a definition, CDE and the chiplet in CDXML. So we added that, and then we also added that the Young's models. All these things are coming from part of the data sheet of the chip we have today. So these are the chiplet properties. So that's why we have included like from early on, and we are mapping that into the part model as well. And then other things that we have is the mounting style. So we added a few new definition, specifically used in the chiplet 2.5D, 3D. It's a lot like couple to couple bonding, the wire bondings. Um, and we have this added this like the upper terminal, which is like for the 3D support, like the same terminal when for the flip chip at the bottom. This one can also can define for the on the top side, so that you can do a lot like the couple and other kind of like 3D, like the using as TSV connectivity from there. Um, there is on electrical side, we also added the operation modes, which will support like many this layer of the different operation modes. They are kind of like the logical, functional, power, kind of breaking down that into more details. Um, and here is the modes, right? Broken down in the function, power, rod, and testing modes. And analytical, the function modes that we added quite a few, but this is definitely not extensive, so that's why we started it. So we put like others here, function, and we also have the power modes, which is the power up, power down, the main power sequence. We see a lot of this, especially related to the timing and sequences will becoming more and more important, especially in the heterogeneous integration, right, in the chiplet environment. Each chiplet has their own kind of like different power requirement, and also like different like timing requirements, like to do all this kind of analysis. And that's why this become more and more important. So and that's why we have that similarly we have that section in the CDS, the workflow that we're working on. And then we have the route mode kind of similar to for the same reason we added that. We also have kind of like different test mode as well for to support multiple or heterogeneous environment of the chiplet integrations. And another important is like the multiple interface instances that we added here to support, and especially like this is prep also like for more new thing will be like come up from the uh, BOW and also like the UCIe as well. And also like one thing we added is a netlist name, which is commonly we have been seeing like there is a default netlist name from the chip manufacturer to define like the default name for it, so that it will be easier for interconnectivities and use a lot in the design, and it's a default name that people can change, and is very useful, especially like for the initial connectivities, like for standard connectivity. Here are some of the pending items that we discussed. Some of these pending items is they're either like they're still kind of like ongoing work on the CDXML side, like which we have the CDXML tool that we working on, and also like there is some kind of like uh, uh, um, the alignment between with the JDEC and JEP30 to see like way or how to capture some of this information better on both sides. They have an existing structure. They support a bigger audience. We are more focusing on the chiplet community. So we have a kind of more specific requirement, and they want to be more generic enough for everyone, but we want to be way I think I like more focus on cheaper side. So there's something like, for example, the terminology that we use at C4, like micro bumps and those kind of things, like which we trying to find a way how we can work out on those alignments. So that's some kind of like pending the discussion there. The more material, so I think we have there's something that we are supporting there, but there like could be there is a assembly processing under JEP30, so something we're gonna see can be part of that as well. There are a few others kind of like the orientation. We try and waiting to get some feedback as well, and the CT that we talked about briefly earlier. Yeah, and that's true for some the snapshot of some of the CDSM2 that we have been working on or planning to work on. Some of these things we have been talk about from meetings to meetings, like and we as the team has also focusing on the integration with the JDEC. I think once that I think like cross on that, I think like more focus will be on this CSML2. So one of the things is like the logical array that has been talked about, right, and mentioned by Derek. So we want to into right that we might be able to add some this logical array could be useful in thermal or in general and for the chill integration. I think that we as Tony started earlier this year, I think, or a month or two ago on this CDK checklist. So we added that checklist, and we talked about at the time potential some of the checklist. There are items that potentially can be expanded to be included or exported in this CDXML if there is no like other kind of existing standard that we can be used there. So that's something we're probably going to revisit back at some point. And there is some more kind of like theory assembly information we have been kind of tough on and off there. So all these things just put in there because there's some information that we have seen on the data sheet as well. So which is provided by the chiplet supplier. So I thought as part of the definition, I think on the CDSML, where I think I will try to capture like all information from data sheet. So I just trying to include there and see if potentially could be included in here as well. I think inside the we briefly mentioned somewhere there, I think about this process rotation temperatures variable. This is more kind of something they're more kind of graph if they're working for certain ranges, especially I think performance. I think on this some of the power voltage, the condition changes when the temperature changes or voltage changes. So we try and find a way to better capture this thing or this variable. So that's something we are in work in progress there. Yeah, I think it's just that kind of quick mention like the pen items that we terminology that we still are working on. And one more thing is the transformation between the CDXML and JEP30. Once this integration has been done, we plan to have a transformation so that people can port, especially from the JEP30. Since JEP30, as mentioned, they started from a generic part model standpoint. So when for the chiplet community, we believe that will be still beneficial that right it will be interested on the subset of it which is more focused on the chiplet. So and people can always use the transformation to extract out the information in the part model with all the chiplet related information which is kind of based on the CDXML and use it for the chiplet focus on it. That's kind of like all side that I have. Any questions or anyone?
So I think we probably need some slides in the beginning to remind people about CDX, and then why did we choose this activity? What is JEP30? How did this thing come about? I think that part is pretty important. Some of those slides going in the beginning.
Yeah, that
So I
makes
think
sense.
what we can do is, next meeting we talked with Tony and Michael. Then maybe we put some of those opening slides together.
Sure, yeah, we will arrange that. I think I move this view of slide up, and then yeah, we will solicit more inputs there on this part model, and then yeah, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so there's an important information that I want to tell you guys. This is input from BAPI. So BAPI says that we are doing something very important, but it is not getting enough visibility and enough recognition. So he wants the presentation to highlight the importance of the work and how it's going, the value of JEP30 and the amount of work that we are putting into it, right? So I think that is something that BAPI wants to achieve out of it, and I'm quite certain OCP also want us to kind of like, bring that message out.
Makes sense. Yeah. Anyone else have any other feedbacks or comment?
No, can someone send out the email invite for tomorrow's meeting? I don't have it on my calendar.
Oh, yeah, I can include that. I created one for the they pretty much from the ODSA, the standard calendar, that's sent to a group. But I can I can add you to that same invite that I share with Michael.
Thanks.
Yeah, if there's no other feedback, thanks for everyone. Yeah, we'll get back to you, David there. David?
All right. Okay. Yep. Right here. Thank you. Thank you, James.
Yeah,
Yep. Looking forward to the updated slides.
I will share with you guys. Yeah.
Tony, if you subscribe to the Groups.io mailing list that ODSA has, they send reminders these days, and the dial-in link is in there.
Well, I get emails from ODSA every day, but they're not on my calendar
Yeah.
invites. So
Yeah, no, it's
you
yeah, it
have
will
to
not be.
kind of do it on your own, and it's not obvious what the meetings are either.
Yeah, there are a
Yeah.
bunch of them, so yeah, there are a lot of messages.
Yeah,
I
so let me just share my screen for a second. Where, all right, how do I
uh,
find
Tony,
it?
I just share with you the calendar I created for Michael there for tomorrow.
All right, so there's a bunch of wires through die-to-die PHY, test package POC using chiplet design kits. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
Hey,
I
Tony,
don't have it.
speaking of the chiplet, the design kit that Siemens is doing, the webinar, they have misspelled the CDX group name, man. It's CDS, not CDX.
Which whose paper is this?
This is Siemens is doing some kind of webinar on chiplet design kits, um, following up on the modeling white paper. But they have misspelled in the introduction the CDX name. I'm being overly picky, but I noticed that.
Well, yeah, that's. Do you know who's writing it? I wasn't even aware of this.
Yeah, no,
I can't share my screen.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, now it. Yeah.
There you go.
So these are the invites I get. Let me.
Yeah, we see only your go-to screen.
Oh,
Yeah, I think we're
right.
getting the time tunnel effect here.
Yeah.
All right. So share.
You-
I have share something else. Pause sharing.
Do you have
Stop sharing.
I'm
do
saving.
Let me
you have
stop
multiple
sharing.
screens? Yeah.
No. Share screen. Oh, entire screen. I say it. Never mind. I got it. Okay.
It'd also be good to see where that misspelling is referenced.
Yeah. So you guys see my screen now?
Mm,
Not yet.
What the hell? It says I'm
Now
sharing
we
my
see it.
screen. Okay.
it's the same screen area though. Okay, now it's good.
Yeah. So which meeting is it? Is it on this?
Oh, this is just the digest you're looking at.
Yeah. So that's all I got.
Um,
So what do I need to do to get on the meeting list?
I get, let me show you what I get in my email. I get, so when I filter it by ODSA, I get all these notifications. And then there is the, um, not today. I should be looking at something last week. This one, sub-project call, OCP sub-project call.
OCP subproject call.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's how it's gonna appear.
right. So how do I get that subscription?
I can send you email offline how to get
Okay.
this subscription to. Maybe you've subscribed only to receive the digest, and that's why you're getting that. Yeah, let's figure it out. After this call, let me
Well,
reshare again.
I'm sure other people are having it. Maybe you could just send it out to with the meeting notes.
I just sent you.
Okay.
I just sent you, Tony, the meeting.
Yeah,
But
I got the
So
invite from you, but I don't have that. I don't get those invites. So
oh, you mean that? Yeah, this
groups
yeah,
email. Yeah.
are you
I
unfortunately, I have a conflict. I can only make the first 30 minutes.
So this is the OCP Groups.io webpage. And if you go there, right, this is the main group, and just to subscribe, just email to this address. Just click on this, send email. There's no need for any subject lines, body lines, anything like that. It will
Can you throw
automatically
that?
subscribe.
Can you throw that in the chat? The link.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay. Just send email to that, and you'll subscribe to the group.
So that's the email address, and
Maybe
just say, and what do you say? Add
yes.
me to the.
No, it's fully automated. You don't have to say anything.
So I just send an email to that.
Yep.
Okay. No subject line or anything.
Nope.
Okay.
That's it. That's all there is. Main page is this. Actually, I'm glad this came up because I keep on searching for this myself sometimes. And okay, here we go. Oops. Anyway, figure out that one later.
I find it very hard to find stuff on OCP. There's so much stuff there.
Yeah. Yes. Um, everybody adds, and there's no style. All right, let's switch gears to the most important thing after bread and butter, the white paper that we're working on. First of all, let me throw in an open question. Any updates from anybody? We can focus on that, and then we'll see how much time we have left after that.
I did talk to Mark yesterday. Did he make any changes? He was going to add the persona at the end. Did he do that?
I am not sure. Let's see. Joe has added stuff. KK, Jawad. No, I do not see edits by Mark.
Yeah, I just added some suggestions on the flow and the coherency of the paper. Yeah, just
Yes.
yeah.
Joe has added this. Let's see what this is about.
I think the biggest one is on the executive summary or the heading. I think it started with STCO, but I think this workflow is bigger than just STCO. It
No,
covers
that was just
the.
that was a placeholder to seed the
Oh,
conversation. I
okay.
don't think anybody really had it because I talk about SDCO in my section,
Oh,
and
okay.
where I
I
left
see.
it is I felt that was probably needed to be addressed in the exec
Mm,
summary or possibly in Mark's section, and then I was going to
right.
remove it. But unfortunately, nobody did the executive summary, so
I see.
it's
Thank you.
it's been orphaned.
Oh,
You're welcome to write one since you've gone through and scrubbed over the whole thing. If you want to take a crack at it, and then we can edit yours while it's still fresh in your mind.
Yeah.
When is it due? Because I have some trouble accessing this document from work, right? So I can only do it from when I'm working from home using my home PC.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Flow diagrams. Let's see.
it was due about a month ago, right, David?
Yes.
So is this the final or the final?
Yeah. Something like that. Okay, the executive summary. Yeah, off the shelf.
Yeah, I think on Mark's section is very good, except that when he tries to talk about the dynamic analysis, and then suddenly kind of transition to the more implementation flow. So yeah, so it would be nice to have some kind of yeah for a reader. It seems that I'm curious on what is that, and yeah, blah blah blah. I could make an attempt to write something for the executive summary tomorrow after yeah, when I'm working from
Yeah.
home. So yeah,
That would be great, and I could,
okay,
we could all take a look at
Yeah.
it and review it.
okay,
But
Yeah.
okay. I'll block off time tomorrow.
Flow chart. Cybertronic. Okay, this one. Okay. Okay, this is that.
Yeah, I just mentioned it, right?
Oh yeah, same thing. Yeah. Floor
did,
plan. Okay, we need to review these. What? Let's see. Kevin added something. Okay. Well, okay, I added a comment about the microarchitectural scenarios and this.
that
Yes.
one's done. That one's done.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
What about the physical design planning?
Yeah, so is your question about this partitioning and templateization section, Tony? This comment that you've added here?
Oh, this is old. It's back from last July.
Oh yeah, that's July 2022. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's already all these are 2022.
Yeah,
We might
these are this old stuff. Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. Well, I think we covered the new ones. Yeah. Okay. I thought we changed this. Rajawat, you have added quite a bit, I see.
I'm working on it.
What?
I'm slow.
Yeah. Do you want to give us a quick overview?
Well, so the only thing I can overview is the skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
So the skeleton, when you think about the physical design for multi-die, there are similarities to how a conventional package gets designed and similarities to how conventional chip gets designed, right? So what I started capturing was the baseline, and you will see one diagram that I captured in there, which roughly encapsulates how the backend physical planning and execution happens, right? Each one of those tiny little thing in there is a big topic by itself, right? So what I plan to do is I plan to basically write another diagram like this for package, and then create a third one which will highlight the similarities and differences, and that's what I'm going to expand on.
This is
Okay.
the chip flow we're looking at right now. Chiplet.
So the title of this chapter is Chiplet Physical Planning. So you know that's where I'm going with it.
Oh, chiplet physical planning.
Go up, David. Let's look at the title.
It's physical
It's a
planning workflow, and Jawad has a physical planning background, kind of
Okay, so I
capturing
see a new section, physical
conventional
planning
IC.
for
Yeah,
chiplets. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's a good
then
topic.
yeah,
And I'm
introduction. Then next one is package, conventional package physical planning. And then the next one will be the actual physical planning for chiplets, for chiplet integration.
chiplet integration. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'll be a very interesting chapter
Yeah.
because everything kind of like converges there. So I signed up for it thinking I can do it quickly, but now I'm realizing it's going to take me a little bit of time.
Yeah.
hmm No, this is good. This is good. So this is really top-down architectural decomposition driving the chiplet,
That's right.
custom chiplet flows.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think, Jawad, you're definitely on the right track here. This is definitely very good. This will definitely, especially the comparison between silicon and package flows, will bring everybody together. Right, packaging guy can see what the chip guys do, and the other way around, and get an idea of why the chiplet integration flow is kind of like that. Right, it has components of both flows. Yeah, that's very good.
Yep.
Very cool. Okay. Um, Joe, I see you have made some updates to the DFT section.
You're telling me I made updates?
No, Joe, sorry, Joe.
Yeah, correct. I added the text
So,
around. So actually we're, probably 95% at this point. And I added text around the main focus was on manufacturing flow at the end. So yeah, and I think the 5% is just some cleanup that's needed. But if you go towards the end, you'll see a known good die or sacrificial pad diagram. Uh, yeah, let's keep going down, 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 down. Yep, this is where we
you go
need
too far.
cleanup. Keep going, keep going,
Okay.
keep going. Okay, manufacturing test.
Yeah.
This is where the focus was, and so yeah, talking about wafer probe, known good die test, um, talking about package test, and then other tests like burn-in or HTL, reliability
Yeah.
testing,
Yes.
uh, as well as power considerations, and also characterization testing. So characterization and thinking about it more is going to be tricky. What we typically do for characterization is we order corner parts. So like fast, we push the NMOS and PMOS speed by forcing the process to fast, 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 slow, slow, fast, typical, typical, and slow, slow. Now with a multi-die device where you're getting chiplets from, different vendors, they may, and what I'm proposing here is that you may need to get those corner parts from the vendors that are forced to specific corners of the process. Then you can assemble a chip as the SIPs for characterization, and then do burn-in in the burn-in oven to verify, the part aging. So for reliability test, and also
Yeah.
we can test the part and schmoo them to verify, how the parts behave across these corner parts behave across voltage and temperature. So so these are, and once these steps are completed, the part is typically released for high volume production, and that's where you're making money.
Yes. Okay. So here you're talking about each chiplet is going to have 5 different corner cases.
Yeah.
So if you have 5 chiplets, 5 different chiplets, you're basically talking 5 to the power of 5 different
Well,
characterization scenarios for the
yeah.
chiplets.
So that's I think that's too tricky. I'd probably just go with everybody forcing fast, fast. Assemble a chiplet with that. Another chiplet's assembled with fast, slow. Another chiplet is assembled with all parts slow, fast, and then typical, typical, and slow, slow, and then characterize those 5 packages,
Yeah.
right? It just gets out of hand otherwise.
Yeah,
By the,
exactly. You basically,
but this is an area, this is
yeah,
kind of a new area I haven't seen anybody talk about before. So it's
yeah.
kind of, maybe there's a paper here for a conference.
Yeah. Are you sure? Are you sure about the typical though? Wouldn't the other corners cover your typical?
Not normally. Normally you get wafers actually from the fab that are forced to the fast, fast, slow, slow, typical corners.
Yeah.
And normally, yes, typical is what you normally expect to get, right? Without doing
Yeah.
any forcing.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? You expect the parts
Yes.
to be typical.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but there
Okay.
can be process variation across the wafer. So the corner part, the edge die might have different speed than the middle die. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Not that it can, but it will.
yeah, it will.
Yeah.
So then we even run into stuff, and I'm not even discussing it here, but like on-chip variation, and those things are covered in STA.
Yeah.
By the way, I have to drop to another call.
Okay. Yeah. I think we all have to go to another call.
Yep.
I think this is good, Joe. I'm glad you're touching on this subject. And
And there's more on power in here as well. And
okay.
IR drop and false failures and yield impact from IR drop. You can, in the worst case, destroy your yield and make no money off the chip. So
Yes.
you
Yeah.
have to take care of all that power analysis to make sure you're not getting false failures from IR drop.
Yeah. Yeah. I think some people underestimate that aspect of this, the impact of power and power integrity on test yield.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a tricky
Okay.
one. All right.
So yeah, get
Okay,
a little
everyone.
more
So,
cleanup, but I think the content is there.
yeah,
So yeah.
that's very good.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank-
so next week, Tony, you will have the floor.
Okay.
If something changes, we'll do the white paper. but otherwise we'll plan a full hour on the on the design kits.
Good. Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
All
Thanks,
right,
everyone.
everyone. Talk to
Thank
you
you.
next week.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.